Welcome back. We're wrapping up our discussion on Federal Bill C-18, and join me again is Peter Menzies. Peter, in the defense of some of these, of the media, the Canadian media, they're producing content. They're hiring writers to write content, to generate content, to post content on websites. And then you have big tech, like Facebook, like Google, who then allow the reposting of this, and it gets spread far and wide. But there is no compensation for that initial investment that, say, print newspaper put out when they hired that journalist to write that article in the first place. Is there this sense that perhaps big tech is stealing from journalism?
Well, that's the allegation that's been made by many of those in the newspaper industry. It's starting with Rupert Murdoch in Australia in terms of going on that. But Facebook doesn't scrub the internet in the way that Google does, right? Google scrapes the internet for information and then provides it in terms of answers and possible links to people. But it actually drives people to those links, right? So in order to access, if it presents the Globe and Mail as here's the source of the information you were looking for, sir, then you click on the Globe and Mail's link and you go there, and the Globe and Mail profits from that. So it's kind of the carrier. In Facebook's case, they're not even providing the links or coming up with the links. Facebook is just it's the vessel through which people deliver their content, and Facebook argues that its value to newspapers and news organizations is worth about $220 million a year, money they used to pay to newspaper boys and girls and truck drivers and others to deliver their product that they don't have to spend anymore.
Right.
So there's a difference between Google and its sort of scraping of information in terms of that. But it has already, as I said, it makes commercial agreements where it makes sense through Google News alerts and those sorts of things. So I don't know the nature of those agreements because they're private in terms of that. But obviously there's something there. As for Facebook, I think they're really seeing getting out of it, because Facebook is for pictures of your grandchildren and your kids and your mom on Mother's Day and, life events that used to be on classified pages of newspapers, like
Yes.
your daughter's engagement, your wedding. Somewhere in the classifieds was somebody's divorce notification, right? Funerals, your passing of your parents, your grandparents, all that sort of stuff. That's all on Facebook now. And that's really what people go to Facebook for.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that was, some of the bread and butter of the print media industry that helped finance a lot of the newspapers that went out. Where are the classified sections? Where are the announcements and the death notices sections?
Oh, sure. Newspapers were a lot more than just news. I mean, news was a very valuable part of it, and I don't want to get in trouble for downgrading it. But it was the comics, it was the crossword, the obits, the birth announcements, and that sort of stuff. It was the public square where you found out about other things. It's also where if you needed an apartment, or you were selling your house or something, it was the only place to go.
Right.
Right. And Craigslist and Kijiji. It kind of killed the newspaper business because it took stuff that was being charged 25 cents a word for and gave it away in many cases for free. But it saved consumers many billions of dollars a year in what they used to spend just to buy and sell and trade and find a job, find an apartment, find a house, all that sort of stuff.
So
and it's all
go ahead.
It's all dispersed, right? So if you want to buy a car, you just go to a car dealer's website. If you want to buy a house, you go to a real estate website. All that stuff used to be you had to go through a newspaper 25 years ago to get any of that stuff.
And now you don't have to. Okay, we only have about a minute left. So if Facebook says, you know what, we're not going to allow posting of any links, it's not worth the potential fines or the fines that we don't know how much they will be, it's just no longer worth it, it's not worth the cost, and Google does the same, then what is going to be the benefit to media organizations in Canada with C-18?
No, there won't be one. And it'll stifle innovation. There's a lot of the startups for whom it gives them an introductory platform. They can geolocate their postings and that sort of stuff. So if you're in St. Catharines, for instance, somebody starting up a news product there, or even the local news product there, they could use Facebook in terms of that. And there's a lot of the newer, more entrepreneurial, and there's been 220 of them start up in Canada against 480 newspapers have died. They depend on Facebook. So if Facebook cuts them off, you're cutting off not only your past, but your future.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much, Peter, for joining me today. Appreciate your insights.
Thank you.